Hey, what's up? This is DJ Prostyle.
And this is Penny Dellas.
And this is Teach Me Something.
Brought to you by Berkeley College.
Right.
Cuando yo te grito en otros idiomas, ¿me contestas?
Yeah,
Exactly. And this is the Teach Me Something podcast. So welcome to our language battle that we have here going on. I am Penny Dellas.
I am DJ Prostyle.
And this is presented by Berkeley College.
She's like, is that really how this podcast started? Okay, this is how we're going to do it now.
Organic.
I like it.
You started a trend, bro.
I started the trend. The last one? Okay.
Yes, you did. And on this episode, we're really excited because the voice you heard on the third mic today is Doctora Beth Marranzini, a nationally recognized healthcare executive, policy advocate, and community leader with over 25 years of experience in her field. Let's give a warm welcome to Beth.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Thank you. So we were just talking about our backgrounds and, all the different
languages.
Mixtures.
Yeah, we're just a melting pot.
That's what makes us better.
Absolutely.
The mix of all the culture,
I
the
love
emotions.
it. The emotions.
It's just amazing. I every day I get up, I'm like, thank you, Lord. I was born in the earth. Thank you.
Yeah. I love it.
And especially in New York City, it's a melting pot. It's different cultures on every corner.
It really is.
It's a beautiful thing. And everyone that comes here to the pod, we always end up talking about languages and
definitely
and touring and architecture and all
Food.
of the things.
Food.
We love our snacks
we
here.
We haven't really done a good food podcast, right? Have we?
Oh, the idea.
We've spoken a lot about food
on
all of the episodes.
Like a chef in here or somebody. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think that'll be really cool. But let's speak about the chef of business that we have with us here, like that segue. You currently serve as the Madam Chair of Prospanica National Latina MBA and Para Ella Awards. And I've had the privilege of being on one of the seminars on the national landscape with you. How did that series movement come about?
Well, that is an amazing question. I will say, let me just take us back to, I started with Prospanica in 2011. And the reason why I joined Prospanica is because the company that at that time I was working for, Medical Health Solutions, which, by the way, my fiance was the president, what had been just bought by another company, Accredo Health, and they had the biggest massive layoff in Bergen County. So at that time, I was on the diversity network as the president of the diversity network board. And one of my peers who was in the Prospanica New Jersey chapter said, look, we were like brainstorming, how do we help people land a job, right? And he suggested to bring the Hispanic MBA, the National Society Hispanic with MBA, which is Prospanica now because they rebranded, and the Black MBA. And we're like, yeah, great. So then I joined in 2011, went to my first conference in Orlando. We had the Hard Rock Cafe and all the other stuff. And I fell in love with the mission. The mission of, empowering Latinos to be, socially, economic, and educational, like empower. And I'm like, wow, that resonates with what I want to do. Because when I came to the U.S., I worked 2 jobs. Okay. And one job was 60 hours. The other job was the weekend in catering while I went to school. And I felt that I have gotten that far because of my education. And I was looking for a way of, giving it back, helping our community get educated. And Prospanica did that. Fast forward, in 2019, I have co-wrote 2 books. And we were with a lot of Latinas in Europe in 2019 when we launched our book. And I realized that, wait a minute, what about Latinas? I looked at a statistical information that is stated in the U.S., 1 in every 5 women is a Latina. I'm like, oh. Then I look at a statistical information that says Latinas are not really graduating for college. Only 4% of Latinas that obtain their high school diploma actually graduate from college. MBAs, less than 0%. I'm like, oh my God. What's the future is going to look like in the U.S. if they're predicting that Latinas are going to be higher numbers, right, in the population of the U.S., and they're not educated? What's going to happen to the U.S.? I got to do something. So pick up the phone, call Tomas. Shout out to Tomas Savino, the CEO of Prospanica. I said, Tomas, we have to create a specific track that helps Latina get educated, promoted, empower, advance in their career. And he's like, oh, we had that. So you had that. And what happened? We got to do it now. So it all started with that conversation. And at the same time, I launched what is called the Mujeres Brillantes Award, which today is called Para Ellas Award. And I'll tell you why. And right when COVID hit, we were going to have our first 400 people event where we're going to be giving this award. I realized, and if you notice, the same women in the Latinas in the U.S. in leadership are getting awards. It's the same one. I'm like, okay, they're really nice, but what about all the other Latinas that are doing so much for their community, in education, everywhere, and they're not getting recognized? So I launched first the Mujeres Brillantes. That's how I started. And then the Latina Track, which is now called the Latina MBA in Prospanica.
That's amazing.
I'm taken aback because, first of all, thank you for educating us on these statistics. It's very important that we know that. And being a Latina and having an MBA, shout out to Berkeley College. But it was a difficult track, and you don't see many of yourself within your classmates. So it's definitely interesting to see those statistics and hear that. And thank you for advocating for our communities.
I would never have thought that, by the way, those statistics. That's crazy.
Yeah. And then, you look at in the U.S., board positions in the Fortune 500, that's also like less than 4%. And I'm like, why? There's so many brilliant Latinas out there that can become a CEO. I mean, we're busy to start with. So we could definitely help corporations because we're very savvy. Latinas are not only very passionate, but we're very savvy. And, we have this sixth sense that make us be entrepreneurs and own businesses, which, by the way, if you look at the statistical information as well, entrepreneurship, we're like the highest number of entrepreneurs is Latinas and Latinos in the U.S.
That's what I was going to say. I know a bunch of amazing women who are entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So that number makes sense. The graduation number and all that doesn't.
So I think, there was a time, guys, where I feel corporations were missing out on diversity, let's say, but I feel corporations are missing out on Latinas. And it is important that we invest in the education and the professional advancement of Latina, because there will be a majority pretty soon. So that's my concern right now, and why I'm advocating for the Latinas MBA, why I'm advocating we're hosting this event. This was another dream of mine. So you gather all these Latinas all the time in conferences, and yes, you meet people, you expand your network, which is important. But then they walk out of there with nothing. My dream, and I pitched this idea from the very beginning, was to host an event at a school where Latinas could walk out of there listening to other Latinas in leadership, people in education, but obtain a certification that they could put to their resume, as I did this, a leadership course. So that's also something that we're going to be hosting second year in a row. Last year, 157 Latinas at Pepperdine University. May 29, Prospanica is obviously hosting this for us and the Latina MBA. Shout out to Randy Gomez. She's in the committee, and thank you for making this possible for all of us here, this connection. So that's the difference. It's not just going to be a conference for you to just go and sit there and listen. You're going to obtain a certification that you could add to your resume, and that was important to me.
Listen, credentials are important. Stackable credentials are important. Going back to the percentages, because Pro and I are stuck on these percentages. From your perspective, right, as an SME in this space, why do you believe that those percentages are so low? Or what does the data show? Is it because they're not reporting that they're part of that? Right? Where's the disconnect in terms of, are we not reporting that we've graduated and obtained these degrees? Or do you think that there is a lack of education and financial literacy or lower socioeconomic communities? Or what do you think is the dividing trend there?
Well, you think you didn't know, but every element and factor that you mentioned contributes to that fact. especially for Latinas. I was very blessed, guys. My mom, was a woman who, divorced my dad, or they divorced when I was 6 months old in Dominican Republic, and she could have chosen to, okay, I'm not gonna do anything. This is it. This is the end of my life. 4 kids and me, 30 years old, and she chose to go to school. And then from there, she became secretary for 2 of our presidents, Guzman and Balaguer. So I had a role model. The expectations for me, and I never had a doubt, was to go to school. However, when you come from different backgrounds, the expectations for Latinas is more of, you're going to get married, you are going to, your goal is to have kids, that's success for you for the most part. That's one. The other one is when you come to the U.S. especially, you are coming to work. It's not about education, especially if your family, you don't come from a familia where people are educated or that's the expectation. The expectation is more you're going to come, hit the ground running and look for a job and help support your family. That's another thing. And the other thing is we get married young for the most part. It's, to me, it was a surprise when you come to the U.S. and men and women are getting married at 35. We're expected to get married in our 20s. Once you're married, you're stuck. You're pretty much, for the most part, unless you have a supportive partner to take care of the house, the family, your parents, elderly people, your kids. And that's the reality, The other thing is, a lot of the mentees that I have, and by the way, shout out to Melissa Varal. She's one of my mentees, and I saw your podcast. A lot of the mentees that I talk to, it's like first generation going to school. It's hard. When you don't know how to enroll, where to enroll, Melissa's a good example because she helps students enroll.
Yeah.
And she helped my son. I'm like, wait a minute, why don't you charge for that? And that's where she launched the Be better than me. I'm like, I'm giving you $100 for what you're doing, and I don't even care. This is something that you could, you're helping, and you could also make money for. So that's the whole thing, encouraging the next generation you could do it. I did it, looking at people that look like you in those environments and not, so they don't get scared or, the language barriers. A lot of mentees are very kind of worried and concerned about their accent. And I'll tell you this. When I first came to the U.S. and I couldn't speak the language 100%, my mom ended up being also a teacher at night for individuals like the housekeepers and mechanics at a liceo nocturno. So I knew the basis for English, but I didn't know how to speak the language 100%, but I love speaking the language. And where I'm going with this is I lost the sort of like the being afraid of my accent when I saw the Nobel Prize. I was watching on TV, and this scientist from Russia won the Nobel Prize, and I couldn't understand a word he was saying. I'm like, wait a minute. If this guy is one of the most brilliant minds in the world, and he can't speak English and have that thick accent, what am I worried about? I started to sing, look for microphones everywhere. So lose that also thought and being scared of your accent. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of your accent. Educate yourself. That's what I want, really, for everyone.
It's true.
It is true. It's the power of education, really, whether it's, and that's what we speak about here, whether it's in the classroom or outside the classroom or listening to this podcast, you're learning something, we're teaching you things, and we have industry experts that come on here. And it's thank you for sharing that anecdote about, the adversities you faced or, self-complexes with your language. What piece of advice would you give to young professionals right now aspiring to these leadership roles that maybe they believe are unattainable?
I think they are attainable, number one. And anybody can be a leader. You don't need to be a leader of, I'm going to be an elected official, I'm going to be a millionaire, I'm going to be, the number one in the sport that I am. That's not what leadership is. It really is, there is sort of confusion. A leader is someone that through adversity rises up and becomes an advocate for others that potentially don't have that ability, don't have a voice. That's what leadership is facing adversity. And honestly, I have situations in my life where I was advocating for, let's say, a program for children with disability, and I had an opposition from like leaders of the PTO because I wanted the Girl Scouts to be a shadow to these kids. And they're like, oh, it's a liability. And I got up one day and I sat on my bed and I saw Gandhi and I saw Martin Luther King and said, you know what? I get it now. I am here literally a piece to give my life for what I believe. This is right and it's the right thing to do. So that's what leadership is what is it that you see in your community? What is it that you see around you? Even at school, how can you, lead by an example, advocate for others, find a cause? It's as simple as that,
I love that. Well, Pro, your kids are in sports and they're learning leadership and teamwork.
Definitely. Yeah, I think sports is great for fundamentals. There's a word, I can't think of the word right now, of what it teaches them.
Discipline.
There's the word.
Discipline.
And I know that because I'm a black belt.
Yeah. So discipline.
karate.
So with sports, with anything like that, that's what's so great about it. It's not, you're not putting your kids into sports because you want them to become professional athletes, right? But the discipline they get out of it will stay with them for life, and that's the greatest thing about it. And it's the same thing with military, right? And I know when we talked to Shaggy, we talked about that. Shaggy brought up the discipline he got out of the military. He believes that everybody should be required to serve like a year in the military just from the discipline you learn from it.
Right. Those transferable skills that you
Well,
can use anywhere.
I'll tell you, my oldest sister when we were in Dominican Republic and I was as early like 7, 8 years old, she makes sure my brother and I were into karate or swimming lessons, and I love karate. If you have a daughter and if you want to give your daughter something that is going to help her be confident and secure and disciplined, karate is the best thing to do. I literally was in national competitions at the age of 10 years old in the DR with like 18 years old, and today I still do 2.5 hours of training every morning. And Randy, who, is in here, could tell you, I send videos to the whole group. I have 2 different groups. Come on, people, let's go. I do the cold plunge.
That's so cool.
I do.
You don't have to mess around, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's like 2.5 hours of training, and I do the cold plunge. So we have
you do the cold plunge too? I have not done that yet.
I've never done that.
Oh my God, guys, is like euphoria. You come out of there with energy, helps you with inflammation.
Yeah.
Really?
It makes you feel like you are like superwoman once you come out of the top.
How long do you stay inside it for?
All right. So I'll be honest. I do up to like a minute on the cold plunge, and then I do 30 minutes or 40 minutes on the cold shower. 55 degrees. The cold plunge is about 38 degrees. My fiance does 5 minutes, so he's a superhero. But you start like that. Listen, discipline on everything. You know this.
Yeah.
It's applying yourself, and it's not about doing what you won't be able to sustain. It started with like 5 minutes a day.
You have to create the habit too.
Bingo.
That's what it is.
That's the most important thing.
Well, that is
like
discipline.
Getting back into the gym. I always tell people so I haven't been working out for a long time, obviously, because the injury I went through. But now I want to get back into it.
Starting brand new.
So now I have to force myself. Before it was part of your daily routine. So it came naturally because once it's part of your routine, that's it. But yeah, getting going is the hardest part. But I always tell people just start. You have to start because if you keep pushing it off, it just goes to the next day, next week, next month. Next thing you know, 2-3 months pass, you didn't do anything.
That's it.
So
well, you have to feed.
I'm starting today.
Well,
today's your first day.
Today's gonna be my first.
Really?
Yeah.
But you've been running with the kids and
No, yeah, I stay.
things,
Well, I stay active because I have 3 young kids, right? 3 young boys who are in sports. But, for me, I was, until I messed up my knee.
I'll text you voice notes. You go.
Yeah.
Harder.
No, I'll be posting back on watching TV. Watching the thing. And I'll start walking
Peloton?
and doing. Yeah, I'll do some walking first.
I
and
tell
weights.
people, you take care of your car, house.
Yeah.
You do the oil change. You that. But what about you?
Yeah.
This is part of.
Oh well. It's something, and not to cut you off, it's something I saw on social media a long time ago, and I tell people this all the time. Forgot which entrepreneur it was, but he was talking out of college in front of everybody. And he said, hey, listen, I think it was Warren Buffett, and he said, if I gave everybody in here right now the opportunity, if I gave you the chance, basically he said, if I buy anybody in here any car they want, doesn't matter how expensive, if I tell you today, I'm going to buy you a car, raise your hand if you put your hand, everyone raise their hand. He's like, now, if I also told you that the car I buy you is the only car you could have for the rest of your life, raise your hand and I'll buy you any car. It doesn't matter how expensive it is. And that's a lot of people still kept their hand up, right? He's like, now, if you knew you had a car, right, for the rest of your life, it was the one car you were going to have, how are you going to treat it, right? You're going to change the oil on it. You're going to make sure you put the best gas in it. You're not going to put the BS gas. You're going to clean it. You're going to make sure that you don't take it places it shouldn't be. You're not going to drive down roads that are messed up, blah, blah, blah. He said, now, if you put that same attitude at how you would treat that car into treating your body, right? Because he's like, you only have one body. You can't change it. But he's like, people don't think like that. People will get one piece of something and take care of that thing because they know it's the only one they have, like one materialistic thing, and say, I can't mess this up. You know, I'm sure everyone has something at home that you keep safe because it's your only thing. He's like, but we don't treat our bodies the same way. And he's like, once you get that mentality that you realize this is the only body you're going to have for the rest of your life, that's it. And you start treating it the same way, watch how fast things change.
It's funny you say that because, I've been trying to get my kid to make an appointment for a specialist. And I'm like, you know what? I study so much in my life. Even today, I do have my undergrad, my master's. I have a doctorate, and I'm going to for a health law and ethics degree right now, Hofstra School, University. I'm never going to stop. But when I feel like I'm getting sick, I go to the doctor right away because I'm like, I studied so hard. I invested all this money on my education. Am I going to get sick and not take care of myself? I run. And I know my kid depend on me too. So, especially my oldest who is autistic, I mentioned, I take care of myself because what's going to happen to them. And again, it's three parts, right? Mental, I do meditation all the time.
Love it.
I have to. I do my physical training, as I mentioned, every single day. And then you have to do your soul. I don't talk to anyone unless I do my little prayers, and I don't care what you believe in. I send my friends all inspirational notes, prayers every morning. So I am, very disciplined when it comes to taking care of your body, your mind, and your soul. Very disciplined.
That's incredible.
That's beautiful.
I have to work on all three of those.
Yes, you do.
Why?
No,
You're not supposed to agree with me. You're supposed to say, yeah, me too.
You're awesome. Well, I meditate already. We've spoken about this in previous
I've never
episodes.
done meditation other than one time, and it was hard for me. It was funny. It was at an event. I tell you, and I went into a room, and you put it, and I had friends with me, so we're all looking at each other, we start laughing. So you really gotta kind of do it by yourself, I think.
Well,
I think that once you figure it out, you'll like it.
I think spiritually, I'm fine. I have my conversations every day, but
good.
I think the meditation part, I have to clear my mind.
I do it in my sauna. So we have a sauna, and I do my meditation in it. So I lay down. I do my the Peloton app. Ooh. So I do my meditation.
The Peloton app has one? Has it?
Yes. So I do everything I have for the most part. My treadmill, my bike is Peloton because Camila, do you know Camila Ramon? The Latina that does.
She's a trainer.
Oh,
She's a beast.
It's a party every day.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
wow.
will include you in my group.
Yeah.
There's a bachata section, there's a
that's
salsa,
awesome.
there's
Oh, you
Bad
got his
Bunny.
attention.
Those bike sessions
but
are those
Bad
bike sessions
Bunny.
are hard.
It's
I have a Peloton, and it's way harder than people think. Cycling, and putting the pressure up and all that.
Oh my gosh.
So I met her in person. I had gotten a recognition from El Diario at the Harbor Club, and she happened to be there, and they sat her at my table. And I went up to her and this other trainer, Tunde, who is African American. She's really tall and dark and buff. And then Camila. And she's from Argentina. I said, Camila, I'm going to tell you something. Every morning, I'm like, beep, this girl, beep. And then I'm like, but when I'm done, I'm like, I love her. I put my little pill, my little speaker, and I have a party every morning. That's how I train.
That's great.
So cool.
That's awesome.
But
I wish I could wake up and do that, but I wake up with my kids
Dad, breakfast?
or with one already next to me, laying on my face. Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. It'll come time. You go through phases in life, so don't be too hard on yourself. That's the other thing. Right now, you're not doing those things. When Matthew was born, for 7 years, I stopped everything, all my nonprofit, everything, because he had an eating disorder and he, autism, trying to figure it out. After that, I went back to the things that I like, and now I'm even going back to school. So I tell you guys this, and everybody who's listening, today you might not be doing, don't be empathetic to yourself and kind. That's not bad. You will do it when the time comes and when you're ready. So don't be hard on yourself. Love yourself. I get up in the mornings. I'm like, I love you, girl.
I love it. A little bit of grace. Give ourselves a little bit of grace.
Yes.
I was going to start the gym today. That's good. That's a
Yeah.
big first step.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
good. Came back from vacation. We're going to the gym.
I was getting it. Actually, on vacation, there's a lot of walking around. I did some
That's
walking.
good.
on the beach and
Listen,
everything.
as long as you move your body,
So
is what I always say. Just move your body.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
I'm really into
If
it.
it's
By
5
the way,
minutes a
it's not like
day
something
or an
new for me.
hour,
I just had
that's something.
a knee injury,
Yeah.
Mhm.
so it kept me down for like 3 months.
But you're back.
With inflammation. So now that it's
Here's the
gone,
news.
it's like,
You're back.
Let's go.
You're back. You're back.
I
You
still
and-
lost the weight though
You did.
by eating correctly. So
Yes.
the good thing is I learned how to eat correctly, so you wouldn't gain weight. So now when I add the working out in, it's gonna be like summer. Here we go.
Life is a balance. Life is a balance. I tell everyone. It's
Oh yeah.
not putting yourself on diet. I don't really believe on diet. It might work for people. It doesn't work for me. I feel like you deprive yourself of the things that you really need to enjoy.
Yeah.
So I balance what I eat with my exercise, and that's just the way it works for me. And I do that with everything. If you're too extreme one way or the other or fanatic, I don't think that that's good either.
Oh, yeah. I don't believe in dieting to a certain extent either, and I know you want to.
Well, it's healthy lifestyle, right?
I
Like
think
we
it's
say
eating
dieting,
healthy.
but
Yeah.
it's developing that healthy lifestyle.
This-
We talk about it all
for
the
me,
time.
It's
Yeah.
just eating healthier and eating smaller portions.
Bingo.
And realizing and allowing your mind to tell yourself that you ate enough versus
Yeah.
eating out of habit.
Con la moña, like we do Dominicans, like this big plate, like
Yeah.
that. No, a smaller plate, but eat the things you like, and try to do a little walking, exercise, meditation, anything really.
Yeah.
That's just how life is.
I loved this episode.
It's been great.
This was a lot of
It's been great.
fun.
I love you guys. I watched like all your top episodes because I wanted to see exactly who you were, what you do, and that's where I saw Melissa. I'm like, well, that's there. That was awesome. She's awesome.
She was great.
yeah.
She was great. She was episode 1, season 1.
Yes,
She
yes,
kicked off the pod. And in true Teach Me Something fashion, we love to end every episode with this question. If you could describe what your legacy would be in one word, what would that word be?
Okay, so I cheated. I
Okay.
cheated. I'm like, oh my God, what would it be? And I went to my fiance and I said, Kenny, who is here with me, I said, oh my God, what would that be? What do you think it is for me? Because I'm passionate about anything and everything. Like pets or individual disability or women or, minorities or education. Like I
You said
mentioned, I
passion?
was passionate. Yeah, I'm very passionate about a lot of things. And that's consistent with me, right? Latina, half Italian. So I'm like, oh, what is it? He's like, the word that really describes you is champion. And a champion is not someone that wins, in a sport or competition. It's really somebody who advocates for other, has a cause, and has a passion for something that is bigger than you are. And God has given me the opportunity as a champion to even pass legislation in New Jersey, knocking on the door. Congresswoman Nellie Poe, I went in and I said, look, we need this legislation for individuals with disability to have a decal on their driver's license when the things were happening with police stopping them, people with, that couldn't communicate and they were getting killed. And it passed. So again, to be a leader, you don't need to be an official. You don't need to have money. You just need to have this one thing that is bigger than you, that you believe in, and the faith that you can do it. So yes, we can. Watch us.
That is so beautiful
Yeah,
and
I like it.
empowering. Where can our listeners find you, get in contact with you, see what's next?
Well, prospanica.org is where you could find about the Para Ellas, where we are going to be. I'm going to be in Malibu, and I'm going to be a host to all of you. VIP, I invite you. You'll be my guest.
you.
And you can come, but it'll be all Latinas.
Yeah.
And
She'll
then
tell me about it.
LinkedIn, Dr. Beth Marranzini. Instagram is the same thing. And I have kicked off a lot of mentorship programs, in the corporate world, but as well outside. I have a lot of mentees. So when you reach out to me with a message through LinkedIn, I will respond because I feel like a lot of people did so many great things to open doors for me. That's the least I could do. People were kind to me when I was like racing through the ranks in corporate. And I was very blessed with people even checking my homework for spelling. So that's why I do it, to repay.
That's good. It's all about giving back and
Absolutely.
building our community. And the theme keeps coming up through every
Network.
season. Your network. Your network is your net worth.
Mhm.
And, you never know.
Definitely.
Well, thanks for having me here,
Thank
guys.
you
I
for
Thank
enjoyed
you
it.
so much for
here.
coming here. And this is another amazing episode of Teach Me Something presented by Berkeley College. I am Prostyle.
And I am Penny Dellas, and you can follow us at pod.teachmesomething.
See you guys next time.
Bye. Hey, thanks for listening. Tune in next week.
For an all new episode of Teach Me Something.
Brought to you by Berkeley College.